Hello. Welcome to episode 1 of How to Jazz Cello. And I thought I would make a series talking about my approach to improvisation as a cellist who has departed from the classical realm. So these are just some of my thoughts and ideas. I'm going to keep the videos pretty short. Hopefully they can be beneficial to really any string player. But these are kind of just my collection of thoughts after trying to put, this together on my instrument. Some things I hope are helpful for you. So I want to kind of first explain my goal. My goal is to get you up to a level of comfort with listening, your ears, your instrument to an extent, that you can begin transcribing by yourself. This is the goal. This is what I want you to be able to do. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much theory I throw at you or exercises or, whatever it is, you can't outmath it. You can't outrun, the truth, which is that the best way to get better at improv is to transcribe. It is to use your ears, and it is to train. It's a full body workout for your brain, for your ears. It does everything. And when I say transcribe, I mean, you turn on a recording of a song, the record, you go and you listen to that record, you listen to the recording, and you have it memorized. You have every note memorized in your head. It does not necessarily mean actually transcribe, like write it out. It just means you have completely absorbed it, and you could sing it back to me right now. And then the next step would be to put that on the instrument. So if you're already at a point where you think you can already start doing that, and you can start transcribing melodies, improvised solos, bass lines, chords, like wherever you are, if you think that you are already able to do that, then start doing that now. And this series will still be helpful for you. I'll still, try and set you up for success, but that is the goal. So I just wanted to emphasize that first and foremost. That being said, for a lot of classical musicians, a lot of these recordings that you have to transcribe in order to sort of, let the jazz language accumulate in your brain, have a lot of melodic, rhythmic, and harmonic concepts that are foreign to many classical players. These things did not exist in the times of J.S. Bach and Haydn and Mozart. So let's start today by talking about seventh chords. Which are sort of like the fundamental building blocks of jazz harmony as it was being developed, in the early days. So there are 7 types of seventh chords that we're going to talk about today. I have a little list here to keep me organized. So we have major 7 chords, minor 7, dominant 7, minor 7 flat 5, minor major 7, diminished and augmented or major 7 sharp 5. Seventh chords. 7 types that you have to know. And I've tried to order them. That order is in maybe frequency that you might see them in jazz tunes. Those first 3 are really the most important. First 4, you could even argue, are like, 90% or 95%. But really, all of them are essential to know. So let's talk about what a 7th chord is. 7th chord is a 4-note chord, and they're built off of thirds. But the way we're going to talk about them today involves scales, particularly just the major scale. So you'll notice in the description, I've put this list of 7th chords, and I've put numbers next to them. Some variant of 1, 3, 5, 7, and some of them have the letter B in front, which is supposed to mean a flat symbol. And then we have our major 7 sharp 5, which has a sharp 5. So every single set of those numbers is referencing the major scale. Let me prove it to you. Ouch. Our major 7 chords are formed off of the 1st, 3rd, 5th, and 7th notes of the major scale. So let's start with the C major scale. Just 1 octave, right? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what we're working with. So the first note would be C, the 3rd note would be E, the 5th note would be G, and then the 7th note would be B. Make sense? Okay, so major 7 chord in C major would be, and then just ascending would be, right? Cool. So let's do this in a different key. Do you know all your keys? Do you know all your 1 octave major scales? Let's do D flat major, slightly harder. So let's play the scale. Okay, so what are the first, third, fifth, and seventh notes of that? Well, we have D flat, F, A flat, and C natural. So the D flat major 7 arpeggio would be D flat, F, A flat, and C. Okay, let's do it in one more key. Let's do it in maybe A major, right? Let's do that fingering. You'll notice me using these fingerings throughout the series, so I might make a video on them, but for now, bear with me. This is my A major scale fingering. So what would the first, third, and fifth and seventh notes be? Well, we have A, first note. We have C sharp, which is the third note. E, which is the fifth note. And G sharp, which is the seventh note. So already you can see how it's, it takes a second. If you don't know your major scales and you don't know the accidentals, it can be tricky. So as an exercise, I would pick a random key and say, I'm going to find the major 7 arpeggio, right? And you'll find that there are really common shapes. So you might like this shape. And this is just 1 extension 4 and then over a string. Right? That's a great shape. And you could just plop your first finger down anywhere on the fingerboard and then make a major 7 arpeggio. Great. So that's our major 7 arpeggio shape. So let's go to the next one, minor 7. So minor 7 is formed from the 1, the flat 3, 5, and the flat 7 of the parent major scale. So in the key of C, let's play our C major scale really quickly. Bear with me. So our first, third, and fifth notes, first, third, fifth, and seventh notes are C, E, G, and B, which is our major 7 arpeggio. All we need to do is lower the 7th by a half step and lower the 3rd by a half step, and that makes our minor 7 arpeggio. So instead of C, E, and G, B, we have C, E flat, G, and then B flat. Or in that octave. Same notes. And you'll notice this shape. This shape is probably the easiest of all the types of 7th chords for string instruments, right? It's just 1-4 in not an extended position, and then over a string. So you could plop down your first finger on any note and make a minor 7 arpeggio. Right? You can do it anywhere. Great. So those are our minor 7. So dominant 7 is next. Dominant 7 has 1, 3, 5, and flat 7. So in the key of C major, that would be C, E, G, and then B flat. In the key of A major, that would be A, C sharp, E, and then G, because G sharp is our natural 7 in A major. In the key of B flat, our first, third, fifth, and flat 7 would be C, would be B flat, D, F, and then A flat. And the dominant 7 shape is a little bit weirder. It is it's 1 extension 4. Intonation sucks. 1 extended 4, and then over a string, and just 1, 4 normal. So it's not symmetrical like our major 7 or minor 7 shape, where we can just plop down our extended shape and go over for major 7, and then we can just plop down our normal shape for minor 7. But for dominant chords, we have to do half and half. So we have to do extended 4 and then natural 4. That makes sense. But that's a shape thing. Okay, now minor 7 flat 5. So minor 7 flat 5 has 1, flat 3, flat 5, and flat 7. So in the key of C major, that would be C, E flat, G flat, and B flat. Or and an interesting thing about this shape is that it's kind of the upside down version of our dominant shape. So for our dominant shape, we have an extended 4, and then we have a 1, 4 in a natural position over on the next string. So, but our minor 7 flat 5 shape is the 1/4 in the natural position first, and then we extend backwards for an extended 1/4 shape. So, and that is, the notes are C, E flat, G flat, and B flat. You can always rewind the video. So that's interesting. Then we have our minor major 7 chords. And they're called minor major 7 chords because they have a minor third but a major 7th. So minor major 7 chords. And those chords have just a flat 3. This is the chord that we use for our tonic melodic minor scale. But we're going to, reference the major scale for a second. So melodic minor, not melodic minor, in C major, our root 3rd, 5th, 7th would be open 3. Sorry, it'd be C, E, G, B. And our minor major would be C, E flat, G, and then B. And so this is another asymmetrical one. Kind of reminds me of our minor 7 flat 5, but instead of going down with an extended 1/4, we just kind of go over without shifting at all, if that makes sense. So we have 1/4 in our natural position, and then we go over, and we have 1/4 in our extended position. So you can plop down your finger on any note, and as long as you keep that shape, you will have played a minor major 7 arpeggio. Right. Okay. Then we have diminished 7. Diminished 7 is a little bit of a weird one because we have a double flatted 7th, which is also enharmonically the same as our 6th. So that might make things a little bit easier if you're having trouble mathing that out. But in the key of C major, our flat 3 would be E flat, flat 5 would be G flat, and then our double flat 7 would be B double flat, or A. So, right. And this shape is actually not too difficult. It's the same as our minor 7 shape, where like our minor 7 shape is this, right? Just over. It's just 1/4 and then over. Well, except we just lower our hand on the upper string by a half step. So it's basically this. It's just as easy in my mind. You just add that extra step of shifting down, and you can plop down your finger on any. You can plop down your 1 on any root and. And make a diminished 7 arpeggio if you'd like. Last, but not least, maybe least, we have our major 7 sharp 5, and that would just be 1, 3, sharp 5, and 7. So in the key of C major, it would be C, E, G sharp, and then B. So our shape for that is our extended 1/4, and then we move our hand up just 1/2 step on the next string and just play our natural 1/4. So you can plop down your finger at any point and use that shape. Right? And you will have played a minor major 7 arpeggio. So I know that was a lot. Go through these, and this could be a great daily exercise. Pick a random 7th chord, pick a random key, play it, and also name the notes, because although the shapes are convenient, you really want to know the notes you're playing and be able to hear them ahead of time without kind of just relying on the shape and then, oh, what does this sound like? And then, oh, that's cool, because it is cool. Experiment with it, but, try to build both sides of your brain at the same time. So hopefully this was helpful. We're going to expand upon these concepts later, and happy practicing.